An old man, just see Maharaj Yudhishthira, how much he was anxious to take care of Dhritarashtra. Although he played the part of an enemy, an old man, just see throughout, still it is the duty of the family member to take care of the old man. When Dhritarashtra left home after being abused by his younger brother Vidura, my dear brother, you are still attached to family life, you have no sin. You are taking food from home, you considered your enemies, you wanted to kill them from the very beginning. You set fire in their home, you banish them in the forest, you intrigue against their life, and now everything is finished. All your sons, grandsons and son-in-laws and brothers and everything, yes. Father, uncle, I mean to say, Bhishma was his uncle. So all family, as in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, everyone was killed except these 5 brothers. Yudhishthira, me, Arjuna, Nakula. All male members were killed. So, only the remaining descendant was Maharaj Parikshit. He was within the womb of his mother. His father died. Arjuna's son, Abhimanyu, he was 16 years old. Fortunately, his wife was pregnant. Otherwise, the Kuru dynasty was finished. So, he rebuked that still you are sitting here just for a morsel of food like dog. You have no shame, my dear brother. So he took it very seriously. Yes. Yes, my dear brother. You are saying all right. So what do you want me to do? He immediately come out. Immediately come out. And let us go to the forest. So he agreed. He went there. The Maharaj Yudhishthira used to come first of all in the morning after taking bath, after worshipping. The first duty was to go and see the old man. My dear uncle, you are all comfortable, everything is all right. Talk for some time, just to please him. This is the duty of family member. Take care of the children, take care of old men, take care of a lizard in the house, a serpent in the house. This is the injunction we find in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Grihastha, how much responsible he is. That it is said, if there is a serpent, nobody wants to take care of serpent. Everyone wants to kill. And nobody is sorry to kill a serpent. Prahlad Maharaj said that Mode to sadhurapi vrishchika sarpahatya. He said that my father was just like a serpent, a vrishchik, scorpion. So killing of a serpent or scorpion, nobody is unhappy. So, my Lord, you don't be angry. Now everything is finished. My father is finished. So, that was. But still, in the Shastra says that even in your house there is a serpent, see that he is not fasting without food. This is the spiritual communism. They are now after communism, but they do not know what is communism. Everyone should be taken care of. That is community, real community. Nobody should starve. Nobody should have any want in this state. That is communism. So when we went to communist country, Moscow, I think everyone was in want. They could not get in food stuff to their own choice. Whatever government rules this thing will supply, they will have to accept. And actually there was no good food stuff. For us, we are staying in the National Hotel, and Shamsundar had to spend at least 2 hours for getting things. That also not very nice thing. Rice could not be obtained. One Madrasi gentleman, he supplied us some rice, nice atta, otherwise only milk and butter is available, and meat, that's all. No fruit, no vegetable, no nice rice. These things are not available. This is Kali Yuga. Things will be, supply will be reduced. Actually, the supply is made by Krishna. Nitya nityanam chaitana chaitananam eka jo bahunam vidadati kaman. That is the difference between God and ourselves. We are also person. God is also person. Nitya nityanam chaitana chaitana. He is also living entity. We are also living entity. So what is the difference between God and ourselves? The eka, that one living entity, nitya, singular number. So, bahunam vidadati kaman, he supplies the necessities of life to all these plural number, bahuna, nitya, nityana, chaitana, chaitana. Those who know Sanskrit, this nitya means singular number, person. And the nityana, that is plural number. Both of them are persons, both of them are living entities. But why that similar number is considered to the Supreme? Because he supplies food stuff to all the plural. So actually Krishna has everything ready for supplying to all the living entities. Nobody is meant for starving. No, that is not. It's like in the prison house, although the prisoners, they are condemned, still government takes care of their food, of their hospitalization. Not that they should starve. No. Similarly, although in this material world, we are all condemned. We are prisoners. We are prisoners. We cannot move. We cannot go from one planet to another. They are trying so much. Now they are fed. They do not talk now. It is not possible because we are prisoners. Condition. You have to remain in this planet. One has to remain in that planet. Right? There is no question that out of your own will and freedom, because you have no freedom. But Narada Muni has freedom. Narada Muni is going from one planet to another, is coming from the spiritual sky to the material sky, because he is perfect bhakta. So that is the ideal living entity. As Krishna has got full freedom, similarly, when we become perfect Krishna conscious, we also become free. This is our position. But not in the conditioned state, where we can move, cannot. Bhagya, Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagwan. We have condition. But in the conditioned state also, if we follow the Vedic principles, we can be happy. Happy, and this human form of life especially, it is meant for that purpose, that you live happily, save time for developing Krishna consciousness, so that next life you are no more in this material world, you are transferred to the spiritual world. This is the purpose of human life, but these rascals, they do not know. They think that we are advanced in civilization because the cats and dogs, they lie on the floor and sleep. We have got 104 stories building and we lie down there. This is their advancement. But they do not understand that the sleeping, the enjoyment by sleeping is the same to the dog and to the man who is lying on the 104th story. And similarly, sex life to the dog and to the man or to the demigod, the pleasure is the same. There is no difference. If you drink milk on a golden pot or an iron pot, the taste is the same. You cannot change the taste of the milk or anything putting into the golden pot. But these foolish persons, they are thinking that our material pleasure will be very much enjoyable when it is put into the golden pot instead of iron pot. Mula, they are called mula. They do not know our real business is how to get out of this material body. That is Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Devusana Darsana. This is real knowledge. One should keep in his front that my real distance of life are these four things. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. To take birth, to die, to become old, and to become diseased. This is my problem. But they do not know this. They are now busy with the petroleum problem. Yes. Yes, they created this petroleum problem, this horseless tin carriage. Yes. They are thinking, when at home, now I have got this tin carriage, as soon as it is old, it has no value. You throw it into the street, especially in your country, nobody takes care of it. But one must have this carriage, and you must run on petrol and take labor, so hard labor, go into the desert, drill it, and then take out the oil, then bring it in tanks, and it is called Ugra Karma. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that these rascals, demons, they have created Ugra Karma simply for trouble to the whole people. That's all. Khayaya Jagata Ahita. And bringing destruction near. Now there is war going on, and there may be big war, that means destruction. Simply for creating a little comfort, formally also they are moving, transport was there, but they do not like to remain in the formal way because they have no other engagement. Better engagement they do not know. Here is a better engagement to come before Radha Krishna and glorify the Lord and to understand our relationship. This is our real business. But nobody is interested in the real business, they are interested in superfluous engagement, whole day work in the office, then come here, go to the club, go to the football club, tennis club. In this way they have invented simply how to waste valuable life of this human form. They have invented. They have no sense that how this life should be utilized for stopping this the prime problems, Janma Mrityu Jara. They do not. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is giving to the whole world real life, real what is meant by life. So these are the etiquette. To take care, especially of Brahmana, old men, children, women, and cows. This is civilization. These living entities should be taken care of. Now these rascals, they are killing cows, they are making women prostitutes, and killing the children even in the womb. And there is no question of Brahman respect, and neither there is Brahman culture. Then how can we happy? And if there is no Brahminical culture in the society, then that society is less than animal society. Therefore we offer our prayers. Namo Brahmana Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagadhitaya, Krishnaya, Govindaya, Namo Namo. First reference is given, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagadhitaya. If you actually want to do some welfare activity for the benefit of the whole world, then these two things must be taken care of. Go Brahmana Hitaya, cows and Brahman. They should be given first protection. Then Jagadhitaya. Then there will be actual welfare of the whole world. They do not know. Krisi Goraksha Vanijam, Goraksha Vanijam, Vaishyadharma Sabhava. This is the duty of the mercantile class of man, to improve agriculture, to give protection to the cows. Krisi Goraksha Vanijam. And if you have got excess food, you can trade Vanijam. And this is the business. The Brahmana is meant for doing the brain work. They will give advice. Just as we, Krishna consciousness movement, we are not meant for the Kshatriya's business or Vaishya's business. The devotees, but if required, they can take. The real business is, Brahmana's business is to know the Vedas, the Brahma, the Supreme Brahma, the absolute truth. He must know and he must distribute the knowledge. This is Brahmana. Kirtanam. Satatam kirtanam jatan tastadiram praka. This is Brahmana business. So, we are taking this business that preach that there is God. We have got an intimate relationship with God. So you act accordingly, then you will be happy. This is our Krishna consciousness. These rascals, they have forgotten, or they do not care to know God. And that is the cause of their suffering. Yesterday that press reporter asked, what was the question?
Can you just help solve the oil petroleum?
Yes, so what I answered.
Yes, one.
And you did not remember?
Yeah. Yes, so the solution is already there.
Yes, actually, that is the fact. But they will not take to it. They will not take it. Now, what is the problem. It is not at all difficult. There is petrol and it is meant for our use. But the Arabians, they are thinking it is
Hare Krishna. So this is a fairly short lecture, so we're going to go to the next one. And so just give me a moment and I'll just get to the next one. Let's see. 114:43, so we'll do 114:40. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Feeling empty all the time because you might have lost your most intimate friend, Lord Krishna. Oh, my brother Arjuna, I can think of no other reason for you becoming so dejected.
the Krishna was the intimate friend of Arjuna, not only to Arjuna, all the Pandavas. So they cannot tolerate separation from Krishna. This is the sign of Krishna devotion. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that I have no love for Krishna. That verse, just I forget. Na prema gandhasti. So you have no love for Krishna, you are always crying for Krishna, and still you say that you have no love for Krishna. No, I am crying just to make a show. Actually, I am not devotee of Krishna. Why? Because if I could have been a devotee of Krishna, how could I live without him? I have not died still, that means I have no love. This is the sign of love, that a lover cannot live for a moment without being associated with the beloved. This is sign of love. So this love can be appreciated only between Radha and Krishna, or between the gopis and Krishna, not otherwise. Actually, we do not know what is the meaning of love. It's like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Asrishva padartang pinastamam marmahatam karotuba adarsana yatha tathara vidadhati lampata mat prananathastu saivana jugaitam nimishena chaksusha pravishayitam sunnaitam jagat sarvam govindam virahena me. Govinda viraha means separation. When Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was playing the part of Srimati Radha, Krishna, when he could not understand himself, Krishna is unlimited. He is so unlimited that Krishna himself cannot understand. That is unlimited. The unlimited cannot understand about his unlimitedness. Therefore, Krishna took the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, and that is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That picture is very nice. Krishna taking the ecstatic love of Radharani appears as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahayana. So by worshipping Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you simultaneously worship Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna is very difficult to worship. So, whatever we are worshipping Radha Krishna, that is Radha Krishna in his Narayan form, Lakshmi Narayan. In the beginning, we should worship Radha Krishna in the level of Lakshmi Narayan with awe and veneration, very strictly following the rules and regulations. Otherwise, Radha Krishna in Vrindavan, the devotees, they do not worship Krishna because he is God, but they worship Krishna. Not worship, it is above worship. It is simply a love. It's like loving your lover. It does not mean worship. It is spontaneous, heart's business. So that is the Vrindavan position. So, even though we are not on the high standard of the Vrindavan level, still, if we do not feel separation of Krishna, then we must know that you are not still perfect devotee of Krishna. That is what is feeling separation. Therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj could understand that Krishna is no longer on this planet, and therefore he saw so many inauspicious symptoms. Now when Arjuna came back, he was asking, why you are so morose? Have you done this, have you done that? Now he is concluding, I think your so great moroseness is due to separation from Krishna as I was feeling. The kachit preshtatama, this is superlative. As in English language there is positive, comparative and superlative. Similarly in Sanskrit, prestha is positive, presthatara is comparative, and presthatama is superlative. Krishna is the presthatama, beloved in the superlative degree. Kachit presthatame na atha presthatamena hridayana atmabandhuna. Atmabandhu, Srihit, in Sanskrit there are different terms. Atmabandhu, Srihit, Bandhu, Mitra, they all mean friends but of different degrees. Different. Mitra means ordinary friend. As we have got, he is my friend, that does not mean he is my intimate. So the best friend is Srihit. Srihit means without any return. If you think of somebody, how he will be happy. That is called Srihit. So, Hridayana Atmabandhuna. Krishna was always thinking of Arjuna, and that is the relationship. Krishna says, Sadhama Hridayam Mayam. As the devotee always think of Krishna, similarly Krishna also thinks of you. He thinks more. That is the reciprocation. Jayathaman prapadanti, tam sataiva yama. If you think of Krishna 24 hours, Krishna will think of you 26 hours. Krishna is so kind. If you do some service for Krishna, Krishna will reward you 100 times. But people they do not want. They think what we shall benefit by serving Krishna. Let us shut my door This is the misunderstanding. And our attempt is to awaken the dormant love of Krishna. Everyone has got love. The stock of love is there. But it is being misused. They do not know where to place that love. So that, because they do not know, therefore they are frustrated. Therefore they are frustrated. So, our Krishna consciousness movement is simply to educate people that you are loving, you are mad after an appropriate lover who can love you also, but that you cannot find out within this material world. That you will find out when you love Krishna. That is our Krishna consciousness. It is nothing very superfluous or concocted. Everyone can understand that I want to love somebody, anger. But he is finding frustration because he does not love Krishna. This is all. Only if you turn your loving spirit to Krishna, then you will be fully served. Jinatma sampasid suprasidam. We are trying to peace of mind, to have peace of mind, full satisfaction. That full satisfaction can be achieved only when you learn how to love Krishna. This is the secret. Otherwise it cannot. Because you want to love and get satisfaction. That is completed when you come to the platform of loving Krishna. So these Pandavas, they are also on the level of loving Krishna. Everyone is on the platform, but it is the difference of degrees. The same love. Somebody is loving his family, somebody is loving his wife, somebody is loving his society or friendship, society, friendship, they say divinely. But the ultimate point of love is when you come to Krishna. Samai pumsang paro dharma. Dharma means duty. That is dharma. Or the characteristic. Dharma does not mean the religious fanaticism. No. That is not the Sanskrit meaning. Dharma means the real characteristic. I have several times explained that the water is liquid. That is the eternal characteristic of water. When water becomes hard, that is not eternal characteristic of water. Water is by nature liquid. Even when the water becomes hard, just like ice, the tendency is to become liquid again liquid. So our real position, conscious position is to love Krishna. But now we have become hard-hearted, not to love Krishna. Just like water becomes hard, ice, on account of some circumstantial position, when the temperature is very low, the water becomes hard. Similarly, if we do not love Krishna, then our heart should be harder and harder and harder. Heart is there for love. But why you are so hard-hearted? Why you are so much hard-hearted that we kill another fellow being or another animal, we do not care for it, for my satisfaction of the tongue, because we have become hard-hearted. Hard-hearted. On account of not being a lover of Krishna, we are all hard-hearted. therefore the whole world is unhappy. But if you hridayana, therefore it is said, presta samayana atha hridayana atmabandhuna. If you love Krishna, who is our real friend, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sridham sarvabhutana. So, when you actually become a devotee of Krishna, because the Krishna's qualities are there within you, although in small quantity, so you also become Sridham sarvabhutana. Sridham sarvabhutana means friend of all living entities. Sridham. What is the business of Vaishnava? Vaishnava business is to become compassionate with the persons who are suffering materially. This is Vaishnava. Therefore Vaishnava's description is Vanchakalpatarpascha kripasindubhayo patitanam pavanebho Vaishnavibho namo. Patitanam pavanebho. Patita means fallen. So all living entities being fallen in this material condition, they are all suffering. The Vaishnava sympathy is there. Actually, there is any sympathizer for the fallen conditioned soul, he is a Vaishnava. He knows how, why they are suffering. Therefore he wants to give it the information. My dear friend, you are suffering simply for forgetting your real lover, Krishna. Therefore you are suffering. This is the message, Vaishnava's message. For this message, Krishna comes himself as the supreme law. He also says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sarva. Your loving propensity has been distributed in so many things. But you are not happy. Because if you don't love Krishna, whatever you do in the name of so-called love, you commit sinful life. Disobedience. For example, if you are disobedient to the state laws, that means your all activities are sinful. You may color it, this is very nice, but that is not. Nature, because you are a servant of Krishna. Jiven Sarupa Nitya Krishna Das. Your eternal position is to serve Krishna. So, without this knowledge, whatever service you are going to render to somebody else, and that is sinful. There is the same example. If you don't obey the state law and you become a philanthropist, we have seen in India, when there was independence movement, not only in India, in every country, there was independence movement, many persons were hanged, condemned to death. But he was a great lover of the country. But on account of his intense feeling for loving his country, he was hanged. Because the law, he disobeyed the government law. Just try to understand. Similarly, if we disobey the supreme government law, that is called dharma. Dharma means the supreme government law. Dharma to sakshat bhagavat prati. Dharma means, and what is that dharma? Like Krishna says, it is a very simple thing. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam. Real religion is to surrender to Krishna or God. That is real religion. Without that point, all religions, they are cheating. See? Dharma projita koitava tra, Srimad Bhagavad begins. Cheatingly. If there is no love of God, that is not simply some ritualistic formula. That is not religion. Just like the Hindus go as a ritualistic form to temple, or the Muslims go to the mosque, or the Christians go to the church. But they have no love for God, simply official. Because they have to stamp themselves with some religious mark. I belong to Hindu religion, I belong to Christian religion. That is only for fighting. That's all. Because there is no love. If you are religious, that means you must be God conscious. So if you are God conscious, if I am God conscious, what is the cause of fighting? So that point they are missing. Therefore such kind of religion is cheating religion, because there is no love. The first thing is that we have to learn how to love. Sabari Pumsang Parvo Dharma, that is first class religion. Religious system to follow. Jato bhakti radho khaji. If you know how to love, adho khaji. When there is question of love, then the next question will be, whom shall I love? Therefore, Krishna's another name is Adhokhaja. Adhokhaja means beyond your sense perception. Here we love something which is within the category, within the jurisdiction of my sense perception. I love a girl or a boy or somebody, my country, my society, my dog, everything. But that is within the jurisdiction of your sense perception. But God is beyond your sense perception. And yet still you have to love. That is religion. God is beyond sense perception. But if you love, although He is beyond your sense perception, then you realize God. Sevanmukhi hi jivadu samavuspa. It's like we are worshipping a Radha Krishna. Those who are not lover of Krishna, they will think that these foolish person, they have brought a doll made of marble and they are simply wasting their time. You see? Because he has no love. He has no love, therefore he cannot appreciate this worship of Krishna for want of love. And one who is lover of Krishna, just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as soon as he entered the temple of the Lord, here is my Lord, he immediately went. So, what is the difference between that is the difference. A lover of God, he can see everywhere God is present. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilopaya. If you are actually lover of God, then you will see God in every step, every step. Just like Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, when he was being attacked by his father, he was looking over the column, pillar, and the father thought that his God might be there at the pillar. So he immediately, is your God in this pillar? Yes, my father. Immediately broke. To keep the words of his devotee, God came out. So, appearance and disappearance of God is for the devotee. Paritrana sadhunam vinasaya duskita. God comes for two business, to give protection to the devotee and to kill the demons. So for killing the demons, he does not require to come. He has got immense power. Simply by his indication, any person can be killed. There is sufficient power. Durga Devi. But he comes for his devotee. Because his devotee is very much anxious. He is always seeking protection of the Supreme. So because the devotee will be satisfied by seeing him, therefore he comes. That is it. Because this devotee is always feeling separation, just to give him belief, incarnation of God comes. Pralaya parati jali vitavadasi vedam. Divine incarnation comes, just to give belief to the devotee. Otherwise he has no business. There, in India, there is a class of Hindus. They call so, but actually they are known as Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj. The Arya Samaj's opinion is why God should come. He is so great, why he should come here? The incarnation they do not believe. The Muslims also, they do not believe incarnation. They also place the same plea, why God should come, why he should appear like a human being. But they do not know, neither they can answer this question, why God should not come. They say the God cannot come. But if I put the question, why God cannot come? What is the answer? If God is all powerful, why you are curtailing this power that he cannot come? What kind of God is? God is under your law or you are under God's law? So this is the difference between lover of God and the demons. The demons cannot think. They think that maybe there is some God. He must be very formless. Because he has got the experience of this form, limited. So therefore Mayavadi philosopher says that when God comes, the impersonal, he takes the form of Maya. That is called Mayavadi. They actually do not believe in God. Impersonalism, Shunyavad, Nirvishesha Shunyavad. Some of them are Nirvishesha. Yes, there may be God, but he has no form. And Mayavadi, both of them are Mayavadi, Shunyavadi. The Buddhists and the Shankarites, they do not believe. But we, Vaishnava, we know how the atheists are cheated. Sammohaya Suradvisham, Lord Buddha came to cheat the atheist. The atheists do not believe in God. So Lord Buddha said, yes, you are right, there is no God. But you just try to hear me, but he is God. So this is cheating. You don't believe in God, but believe in me. Yes, sir, I shall believe. And we know that he is God. Kesavadhita Buddha Sarira Jaya Jagadisha. You see, so sometimes cheating is required for the less intelligent class of man. But we are not cheating. We are very simple. Why should we cheat? Krishna said, Manvana bhava mad bhakta mad jati mang namaskuru. So, we say, please come here. Here is Krishna. And you simply think of him. What is the difficulty? Here is Radha Krishna, and if you daily see, naturally you will have impression within your mind about Radha and Krishna. So at any place, anywhere you can think of Radha and Krishna. What is the difficulty? Manvana. You chant Hare Krishna As soon as you chant Krishna, immediately you remember the form of Krishna in the temple, Ram Roop. Then you are hearing about Krishna, you remember about his qualities, his activities, Nam, Guna, Roop, Lila, Parikar, Vaishnav. In this way, this you can practice. What is the difficulty? This is the beginning of practice. Actually Krishna is there. But because I have no eyes to see Krishna, I am thinking, where is Krishna? It is a stone statue. But he does not know the stone is also Krishna. Stone is also Krishna, water is also Krishna, earth is also Krishna, air is also Krishna. Without Krishna, there is no other existence. That the devotee can see. Therefore, whenever he sees stone, he sees Krishna. Here the atheist will say that you are worshipping stone, but they are not worshipping stone, they are worshipping Krishna because they know that there is nothing else except Krishna. Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilocha. That stage we have to arrive. How you can say stone is not Krishna? Krishna says, you have to understand, Krishna, as Krishna said, the Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Pameira Panalo Vayu, Kamamana Buddhiri Vacha, Vindami Prakriti Astadha, their mind, just like I am speaking, it is being recorded, and when replay, the same sound will come. And he'll know that here is our spiritual master. But I am not there. The sound is now different from me. Bhinna. Bhinna means separated. But as soon as the record is played, everyone will know here is Bhaktivedanta Swami. If you know, so that requires education. That Krishna, Sevan Mukhi Jivadu, Same Vastu. So, our process is very simple. Simply engage your tongue. Leave aside all other senses. The tongue is very strong. And tongue is our bitterest enemy. And tongue can be your most intimate friend. This tongue. Therefore the Shastra says that Sevanmukhi hi jivadu, just engage your tongue in the service of the Lord and he will be relieved. Very nice. Now what we do with the tongue? We talk of Krishna. We sing, chant of Krishna. We eat, taste. I eat Krishna Prasad. You'll understand Krishna. Any foolish person, any uneducated or any position of life, you can use your tongue for Krishna's service. Don't eat anything which is not eaten by Krishna. Your tongue becomes your most intimate friend. And don't talk anything except Krishna. If you follow these two principles, Krishna is within your grip. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Just looking at this text. Anyway, Srila, this is the time to unmute yourself. If you have some comments to share, this is 2 lectures that we heard. Canto 1, chapter 14, text 43, and Canto 1, chapter 14, text 44. If somebody can unmute and say, can you hear my voice now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I got a text on there. Bishop Gadafu was saying he was having trouble hearing sound. You heard the sound from Srila Prabhupada also.
Yes, I think the last lecture
All
there's
right,
a lot of
then it's probably from his end, and then the issues, because I also heard totally the whole way. Okay.
That was
Yeah,
at the very beginning. That was at the very beginning. It went off for maybe a minute or two.
Okay. Thank you. Anyway, making the point. But you heard the rest of it, so that's good. Yeah. I was doing something in the background for YouTube, and I had to stop sharing just for a second and then come back to it. That's what really happened. But okay, so whichever one that you feel, have takeaway, whichever one of the lectures, text 43 or 44, that you feel inclined to comment about it, ask a question about, please go ahead and unmute yourself. We should get up, if you, again, this is no force, if you feel like starting off with some comments or some questions.
No force. Okay, thank you. Just if there was several interesting points that Srila Prabhupada made in both of the lectures. One was, he mentioned about Thakurbai. Did you catch that in the first one? I was wondering what that was. I wondered if that was Srila Prabhupada's own deity or not, but I didn't, I don't know. Then he was speaking about how the respect and the food has to be given to old men, children, old men, boys, and all that. So I wondered what's the cutoff point for an old man?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I think it varies from country to country.
What's the cutoff point? But it was interesting that Prabhupada said that the standard was that when there's a distribution of prasadam or food, that the children are served first. I didn't remember that if I heard it before. Actually, I was there when these lectures were given. I didn't. That's very interesting. Yeah. And then when these lectures were given, it was during an oil embargo. At that time, there was a war between Israel and I think Egypt, and then because the United States supported Israel, the oil-producing Middle Eastern countries, restricted the supply of oil, and so
that's when they formed OPEC the first time.
Yeah. So then the price of gasoline skyrocketed.
Yeah.
So he was commenting about that, and I remember. And so shortly after that, Srila Prabhupada started a bullock cart padayatra in India to go village to village, and before that they were planning to go on using buses, Mercedes buses that would come in to India. But then Prabhupada said, better use a bullock cart. Simple, no breakdowns, it's simple. And so then devotees took that up. Eventually it was Lokanath Maharaj, she did that. So that's quite interesting. And then that example that Srila Prabhupada gave, I didn't remember this one before, of people who they love their country so much, but they get hanged by the government, the freedom fighters and stuff like that. So if you want to serve the population, but you don't know how to do it, or you don't follow the rules of the of Krishna, then you get no result, or you get hanged. That's a very interesting point, an interesting example. I thought that was an interesting example. And another thing he said was that the whole purpose of these of sectarian religions is to fight. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
The whole point is to fight, not to really love God. So that was a very strong point he made. So
they say they don't love God. They don't love God, so they fight.
The focus is so if our hearts can become softened, and we can actually develop a love for Krishna by this process, like he gave, of tasting prasadam and chanting the holy names and associating with devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. What you were speaking actually reminded me of something I tried to do on Facebook with my page a section of Facebook where many of my high school classmates and high school mates were there, and I knew many of them were Christian in background. So I was trying to indirectly bring Krishna consciousness into it, and immediately ran into problems. Their assumptions of things they don't know about the soul and so on. So it became a very difficult thing, and I realized now many people were not started or they stopped reading what I was putting out. So, so it's like, well, if they're not at the point where they could relate to the higher truths about God, then it's unfortunate, but what to do? Some people were here, some people were not. That's another. Anyway, that's on the side. Dear devotees, please share more things if whatever. I know one thing that, I mean, I took up quite a few notes, but one thing that Srila Prabhupada said to express just how kind Krishna is, he says, if you think about Krishna 24 hours a day, he will think about you 26 hours a day. Mm? And then he says that if you do one thing for Krishna, serve Krishna, he will reward you 100 times. He's that kind. Sometimes we need to, I mean, for me, especially, I'm speaking for myself, I need to remember that so that I don't get into anything that's a distraction. There's plenty of distractions in this material world, electronically, YouTube, you name it, it's all over the place. And people and, anything that they'll put out there. Mm-hmm. But if we engage our tongues, as he said here towards the end of the second one, text 44, engage our tongues in talking about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, then these two principles, then Krishna would be within our grip. And then if you add it to the fact that Krishna, he said Krishna is that kind, then we really owe it to ourselves to connect with Krishna very strongly and very intimately. Then we'll be actually happy. That's some of the things that came. I had other things too, but anyway, for now, if you can unmute yourself, share realizations. This is 2 lectures. Also talk about anything else that you want to talk about related to Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Please unmute
Hare
yourself.
Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances, August of Prabhupada.
That is
Um,
also
I, I, I have a question, and either Vichugada Prabhu or you can answer. And when Prabhupada was talking about, in that to worship Radha Krishna, deity, in the mood of Radha Krishna is very, very, very difficult, which I've heard from Nrsinga Kavach Prabhu in the deity worship training, and because we will never be able to do it properly, able to understand, and that's why we worship in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. But for some reason today, a question hit my mind that if we, as per Srila Prabhupada's instructions, that we worship Radha Krishna in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan, because it's so difficult to understand the mood of Radha Krishna, how will we, or will we ever get to understand the mood of Radha and Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan if we were to make it back home? Because we haven't, because here we're doing it in the mood of Lakshmi Narayan. I don't know, that question just popped into my head. I mean, will we ever understand it? Because Goloka Vrindavan, the mood is definitely in the mood of Radha Krishna, not Lakshmi Narayan. So I was just having that question in my mind.
Vishnu, please. Can start.
We can't do that. We can't get to that level without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, who's Radha and Krishna together. By his service to Lord Chaitanya, then he'll bring us to that position of being able to understand Radha Krishna. That's my understanding.
I was thinking about the same thing also. You mentioned Lord Chaitanya. I was thinking by the mercy of the spiritual master, which Lord Chaitanya himself was spiritual master also. Yeah, but that's even one stronger point in that when we serve Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, we really are serving Radha Krishna. Krishna Balaram and Radharani. So it's because of their mercy that form is there for us to connect with. So little by little. And the other part that's important also is the mercy. The mercy from Guru, the mercy from the Lord himself. And as we've been told, Krishna is so kind. So yes, we are being directed by the mercy of a spiritual master towards Radha Krishna in Krishna Loka. We're not being directed towards Lakshmi Narayan in Vaikuntha, but because our own level of growth is not up there like the way it is in Vrindavan. And that's why, just so we don't make any mistakes and make any big apparatus, we are, in the awe and reverence section. But after a while, and we serve and serve and serve and serve by obedience, it will become a habit. And then from the habit, then some connection of affection will begin by the mercy of Guru. So, as Vishnudev said, well, Chaitanya has come to give love of Godhead through the chanting of the holy name. So, the opportunity is there. The opportunity is there. How we struggle to get there, or how greedy we are to get it, that is up to us. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. And the reason I asked, thank you, Vishigada Prabhu and Parikshit, because yes, definitely by the Lord's mercy, Lord Chaitanya's mercy, because it was Radha Krishna, because I was listening to a lecture that I was hosting yesterday by Chandramani Swami, and he started off saying that how, especially in the Indian culture, but that Lord Chaitanya is not so much known, lack of a better word, or not many people have the knowledge of Lord Chaitanya more than, as opposed to Radha Krishna, he was mentioning in his class yesterday. So I was just thinking, wow, if that's the case, then we really need to spread the mercy and the knowledge of Lord Chaitanya, who is Radha Krishna combined, to get that understanding of Radha Krishna. So that's why I was kind of putting both of them together. Thank you.
Actually, before I came to Krishna consciousness, I was going to different religions, my questions that I wanted answers to. And with every religion, I posed the same questions until I came to Krishna consciousness. But when I was with the Muslims, there was a section of Muslims also that believed that God came to this earth, and they named him. They said he taught one of his, the disciples he taught became a great disciple and led the Islamic movement. So that was the first time I heard, because from being a Christian, we don't know about God ever coming. We know about the Son of God coming, but not God himself. But they told me first that, yeah, God has come. And now, when we came to Krishna consciousness, it became wide open, very wide open. And yeah, the Lord does, in fact, come, even in scheduled things based on the particular Manu and particular, age, even the Dwapara Yuga, toward the end of Dwapara Yuga, systematically, he does, in fact, come. So then, you got to know about it. So yeah, while we are still in the infant stage of understanding Krishna, there's so much that is way above many religious people's thinking. So we should be fortunate, feel fortunate for what we have, and keep preaching it. Hare Krishna. Any other comments?
Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Prabhu. Please accept my
Hare
humble
Krishna.
thanks. All glories to Prabhupada.
Glories to
All glories
Prabhupada.
to the devotees on the call. I was just the point that Prabhupada was making towards the end of the second class. He was saying that how Lord Buddha, he cheated the atheistic people, saying that okay, no, there is no God, but now you follow me, or you understand me, or you listen to me. So that was like very wonderful, like how God even wants the atheistic people to get started with spirituality. So somehow he is making sure some by this way or that way, just and he's making us come towards him. So that was something very nice. When you were mentioning the point that Lord is very merciful, this was the thing that I was thinking about. Even the atheistic people, he wants everyone back, no matter what they think. That is Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah. Very good point. Very good point. Yeah, funny the way Srila Prabhupada put it. There is no God, but you believe me to listen to me, but He's God. So that shows how kind the Lord is. He's so kind. Just like sometimes parents know that children don't know what's good for them, and so then they will make some medicines and then mix it in something that is sweet that the child can relate to or the child would want to take. But after taking that, then the real medicine also kicks in because the child is taking it. So God, Krishna, presents himself in a way that is along what they are thinking. So they are thinking there's no God, there's no God, but then he's God and he's actually directing them. And at the same time, he stopped them. He stopped the animal killing, which was being done wantonly because people wanted the flesh of animals. And they're using the Vedas to do that. And that's why he stopped the belief in the Vedas and turned until people began to practice correctly what they should do in terms of being non-violent. This is also one thing that Lord Buddha did. Hare Krishna. Any last point? If not, I would like to thank all of you for coming on. So have a wonderful day. It's midweek already, and the Rath Yatra is only a week and a half away. So prepare yourself to give a good time. Prepare yourself, and please come to City Island is the 19th. We start at 11:30. Where there's so many arrangements being made now that the cart will really move right at 12 o'clock. So many preparations before the movement of the cart, breaking the coconut, so many other things will happen before. So if you get in at 11, then you situate yourself, then you can take full advantage of the Rath Yatra thing. I'm being asked to requested to have you please come to the Rath Yatra on the 19th if you have the time. It'll be nice to see you there. Hare Krishna. Okay, so Vanchakalpatarubhishcha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.